Exciting, exciting. Glad to be here. Hello, everyone. Free Coaching Friday, every Friday at about the 1 o'clock hour. And I have Amanda. She's behind the camera. She's been helping me a lot here around the property at Synergen. We are in Wellington, Florida, and it's a gorgeous day. And we're just going to introduce you to the horses. So let's walk around this way so Amanda doesn't have to climb the fence. But we're going to introduce you to all the team, to Team Synergen. So I'm going to see if I can get Amanda to go this way so I don't have to talk to my backwards. It's interesting because it's really easy to be like this the whole time, but we're going to here. And we're going to introduce you to each one of the horses. They each have their own personality type. So if you've ever been like like Myers-Briggs or DISC or Enneagram, there's a lot of them out there. And it's hey, we're different. People, and horses are different. And what's kind of cool about the horses, they're a pure reflection of how we show up. So it's really powerful of not only people, but of horses. I have a stick here, FYI, it is hashtag not a whip. It is a stick that I use as like an elongation, like my little go-go gadget finger, because horses, they have they're long bodied and we're kind of short and skinny bodied. Well, some of us, I'm working on it, but it's really interesting to play with these guys and see that how you play with the horses is a very similar to how you need to interact with humans. So here is Maverick. He might be coming over. He's definitely checking us out. But what I want to point out right now is this guy over here. So that is Trace. And he is over there by himself, standing behind the tree, like kind of like, don't ask me to. So he's very much an introvert. But if the archetypes are familiar with Carl Jungian archetypes, he's the magician. So, hi, Chase. We'll see. We had quite a session yesterday afternoon, but we'll see how he shows up today. So, we're going to kind of just give you a little 30,000-foot view, if you will, of all of the different personality types. And Amanda's mic'd up here. She's like, do I have to say anything? I don't know. But because I want her to share a little bit about her experience with the horses too, because I could sit here and say this all day long, but I've had hundreds, if not thousands of people come through my programs and really get a clear understanding about how to deal with their boss, their family members, their kids, their friends, their coworkers, and hello, themselves. So it's really important to understand not only who you are, but who are the people in your neighborhood. And just because they're in your neighborhood, should they be in your inner circle? So we call it, my membership community is called the 2 a.m. inner circle. And we say that because at 2 a.m. in the middle of the night, somebody and it's pouring rain and they knock on your door with a shovel, you quietly get your coat to bury the body, right? That's like the definition of a 2 a.m.er. And on the flip side of that, like if you can just say, hey, I've got this really cool new ice cream I'd like to share with you that I tried, they're there for that too. So those 2 a.m.ers are like, it's a very short list of people. And incidentally enough, a lot of us tend to bring people into our ladies, Bellas, my Bellas, who you're going to meet in just a second. We tend to bring people in a little too close, a little too quickly because we're loving and caring and we want to have friends and have that, sisterhood and everything. But at the same time, if they're not showing up for you, Oprah says it best, right? What did I say yesterday? Oprah says, when people show up the first time, believe them, right? Believe them. So, and horses don't lie. So kind of like hips, Shakira. So it's kind of funny. Trace was over here laying in the dirt and he managed to wipe his fly mask off. But are you gonna come over and say hi? Hi, buddy. Hi, buddy. Hi, buddy. What do you say, pal? So this is Trace. He's a good boy. He's very confident. He's a thinker. He's an introvert. Some traces that you might know. Elon Musk is a trace. Incidentally enough, Oprah is also a trace. So they're very much thinkers. Again, they're the magicians and a little bit almost loners, if you will. Like they're okay. A lot of people think they have social processing disorder or whatever. No, they're just observing. They may not even be being like analytical or judgmental. A lot of times us Bellas think that these guys are looking at us like this when they're just looking at us like this, right? So these guys really have a lot of great things to teach you, and they'll look like this. We jokingly call him 420. They'll look like this until you know how to bring the play out of them. And what I say is, in order to get to an introvert's feet, to get them to take action, you have to get to their mind. And a trace is the kind that needs you to send an email with all the details and then let him alone. And if he says he's going to read your email, please, Bellas, do not follow up with him 18,000 times and say, did you read my email? Did you get my message? Yes, he got your message. And yes, if he said he will get back to you, you can relax and trust that he will, right? So these guys are really dependable and trustworthy. They're very calm. These are great kid horses. A lot of therapy horses are the Trace personality type. But what about the rest of them? They can't all be white unicorns that snow in Florida. Trace, you need your fly mask back on, sir. Blue eyes in Florida, baby. We want to make sure we don't get that skin cancer. So look at him. He's got a really good resting bitch face. That's what we say. And my friend and former assistant, Gail, was a Trace Maverick, kind of on the cusp. And she has we had to actually perm her eyelashes because her eyelashes were like total resting bitch face. I mean, it could not have been any more of a Trace, right? You and Gail are two peas in a pod, aren't you, pal? So again, just super calm, not much bothers him. But if something does bother him, watch out, right? So when you go to work with a Trace, you want to make sure that you have their mind and you have their interest, because they need to know what's in it for them with them, right? What's in it for me? What's in it for me? And that doesn't mean he doesn't give. This horse has given me so much, I can't even tell you. But but it's what's the outcome? Not necessarily what's in it for Trace, although he loves his cookies and his scratches and everything else, but what's the outcome? I'm happy to do this as long as I have a checklist and I see the point. Otherwise, you're a waste of time, right? Hi, buddy. We had a great ride yesterday. You guys stay over here? All right, see you later. Have a good time. Make good choices. So the rest of the crew, coming up on Bella. Now, I'm so happy. Bella has a new fly mask. So I'm going to move Amanda so I don't have to talk to behind me. Oh, here, this is how I move the horses. Hi, Bella. So Bella has a fly mask on, and it's making her look like she has ears like she's a mule. But would we like to see your face? I think we could see your face. Let's see your face. These are cool. These are like little slinkies. I love them. They're cheap. What do you say, Bella? So Bella, the difference between Bella and Trace, see how she's like, hi, how are you? And then I got to go away. Like sometimes she gets a little worried or concerned about what it is you're actually up to. Like Tracy's like, meh, I'm good. She's like, did I do something wrong? Is everything okay? What's going on? Are we doing this? Oh, wait, we forgot to do this. Oh, crap. But then I left the thing at the barn. Oh, but you know what? Don't forget to do this. And they have like no bottom of energy and they never shut up. I might be a Bella. Just maybe. But the beautiful thing in the archetypes, Bella is the lover. So Bella is definitely like sweet and she wants so bad to please. These guys can become victims very easily if they're not careful, and they can be pleasers. Anybody here like a reformed pleaser or working on having stronger boundaries? Now her boundary when she gets worried is to go away, right? And that's tough for a Bella because they're lovers and they want connection. They crave that love and connection, but when they get worried and they go away, or that they end up isolating themselves, and then they wonder why they don't have any friends. And then they go deep into a rabbit hole. So there's all kinds of different things about a Bella. Like, why is she over there? Why didn't she come say hi? Right? Now, moving on. Ooh, look who's up next. Dante. We call him the Dante. All right, you want to take your fly mask off too and show your big, beautiful brown eyes? So Dante's my ginger, right? And he's had a lot of veterinary care and good stuff happening for him physically. But one of the things we were talking about, incidentally enough, is, in order to get to an extrovert's mind, because he's definitely an extrovert. We have right here, we have Steve Jobs. Over there, we have Steve Strace is like Steve Wozniak, right? So we have Dante out here. He's like Tony. We call him my 1,200-pound Tony Robbins. Now today he's kind of out. It's sort of the witching hour, like sort of just lunchtime. You need a Snickers bar? Yeah, I know. But he does have that sort of bold, in your face, that presence. Have you ever been in a room with somebody and they walk in and you can almost like feel the energy of the room, and they're like, whoa, what just happened? Something big is about, right? So he's my 1,200-pound Tony. And when he walks on stage and when he's on, he's like, he's literally very chill. He's definitely has a lot of presence to him. Right. So all I had to do there was to just kind of use a little bit of energy and push him away. Like I was doing, like if I want Amanda over there, I'm like, go over here. Right. So, but I can say it's okay. And I don't drive him away. If I had done that with Bella, she'd have been like, oh God, she's sending me away. When I'm like, no, how about just like not right here. Right. I call it giving me a sunburn. Bella's a lot of times will give you an energetic sunburn because they don't know when to shut up and they don't know when to their level of sensory acuity can sometimes have a little broken off switch. So be careful asking a Bella an open-ended question, right, Bella? She'll just keep going and going and going and going and going. The good things about Bellas, though, is that they have no bottom of energy and they get a lot done when they're focused. I pulled a card yesterday and it says, I am laser focused. And it was like, yes, I am absolutely laser focused. Anybody that has known me for more than 5 minutes knows that I am about what? Helping people, helping horses, saving horses, changing lives, like all of those things, like dead laser focused on that. That doesn't mean I'm like that every day. And sometimes I have my scattered moments just like she does. And so we have to have that level of understanding that, yes, we might need to go around the circle yet another time. See how she's like, I mean, I'm going to have to do something I'm uncomfortable doing, so she'll go call all her friends. Like if I go through my phone tree, Bella's, you guys paying attention? If I go through my phone tree and I pick up my phone and I called my Daniela and then I called Susie and then I called Joy and then I called Bob and then nobody's answering because they're all happen to like randomly be busy all at the same time. By the time I get to like fourth or fifth person that doesn't answer, I'm like, oh my God, is everybody mad at me? Does nobody in the world love me anymore? Like, somebody answer, I need to have connection. But they have a hard time with it if they don't know how to feel safe around you. Now, Maverick over here, let's see, he is my king in the archetypes. Oh, Dante's the warrior, FYI. Dante is the warrior on Chappelle. Yes, he's looking pretty spectacular right now. The vet said he's put on about probably between at least 50 pounds since we've been doing some work with him, and he is ready to fight another day. So over here we got the sovereign. Now he is an introvert as well. Not all sovereigns are introverts, but he is. He represents in the archetypes the sovereign. So I'm going to see if I can't get his attention without like making him look at me. And it might look a little something like this. Now I got his attention, but he didn't respond the way I wanted him to. So now let's follow him and we'll see what happens as we continue to get his attention in a different way. I'm just saying hi. How are ya? He's got one of those cool new fly masks too. I'm very happy. Now I didn't have to touch him. I didn't have to do anything, but he is still that introvert. There we go. I love that sound when they're like nice and relaxed. So do we always need to be relaxed? No, but we need to be able to start from there when we're making decisions. Is it when you go Dante's make decisions quickly. Mavericks make the flash sales, right? And then, oh my God, I can't. This little nugget, she's over here. It's Tuesday. She steals the show, man. She is the crone. She's like the matron over all of everybody, right? And she's over here scratching her butt. But we'll go back over here to my introvert Maverick. Now that I just gave him a second or two to think about things, maybe he will come over and say hi, right? So even though he misses the flash sale, you just pour a little love into him, be a little bit patient. One of his songs is Guns N' Roses, Patience. Like, it's super important that you're patient with these guys because they go inside themselves and they think everything's okay. And then you tell them everything's okay. And then they try and believe that everything's okay. But they're like, you're not okay. I don't believe you. I'm not okay. I don't believe me. And so we have a little something called freeze then explode. If you've ever heard fight, flight, or freeze, right? Bella's going to flight. He's going to freeze and leave. There's the freeze and explode. Even though it wasn't huge, he was standing, and then boom, he had. Maybe I put too much pressure on him. I don't know. What I do know is that if I leave it here, then he's going to get his solace from being away from me. So I can go over and reconnect with him in a different way and get that connection with him. You're going to play with the fly mask, Dante? You want to put yours back on? Put yours back on. So guys, just for you non-horse owners or new horse owners, this is a fly mask. It's mesh, so they actually can see through it up close, like if you have it close to your eyes. And in the summer down here with the flies the way they are, forget it. So now let's go. Now he's looking at me. So I want to make sure he knows he could come and do whatever he wants. But if I want to engage with him, I need to be able to show up in a way that makes him feel safe and comfortable and that he can trust me, right? He's like, why are you out here? And so this is interesting. Amanda might have to move her feet a little because he doesn't get to not pay attention to me. Oh, look at these dapples on his butt. The dapples are the little splotchy, looks like kind of splotchy. There we go. Oh, thanks, Amanda. See, all she had to do was say, hey, we're still here. We're still here. There you go. Hi, buddy. And then can I show him that this is not a tool that I'm going to use against him? And in fact, I might just come over here and use this to get some flies off. Because what if you were in a relationship with somebody and their only goal was to help you be more confident and connected and feel loved and supported and safe and comfortable and trusted? Like, what if you were around somebody that's all they did all day long was try and find ways to be comfortable, supported, feel safe, trusting, all of these things. And what does it take to be the kind of leader that needs to act like that? Now, he left, but he didn't go blasting off like he did last time. And he didn't go blasting off. It was a trot, let's face it. But at the same time, he still left. So we're going to make sure that we can get that connection with him. Sorry. So we can start building the. This is sort of like Pepe Le Pew. If you remember those old Pepe Le Pew cartoons where I had the cat. Now, okay, cancel culture says he was like sexually harassing the cat. It was a cartoon. And for me, it was about persistence. And I'm going to be as persistent as Pepe Le Pew for him to know that he can't ignore me. And it's funny because when I'm out here like this with the horses, sometimes the camera person, sometimes it's like they're not doing anything. And the horses are like, you look safe. If it's Maverick, you look safe. If it's Dante, you look like you're not paying attention. So he continues to go away. So what am I going to do? Hi. I can start doing little things that can build his curiosity. Oh, now he's got Bella. So Bella's getting curious about it too. Oh, never walk behind a horse. It's so dangerous. Thanks, Dante. There's a big licking too. When they do that with their mouths, it's like, oh, that meant something. So think about the kind of relationships that you're in. Who are in your inner circle and why did you allow them to be there? Sometimes after friendships age, sometimes they age instead of age like wine, right? So sometimes that happens. And especially if you start growing, right? Like Amanda's here, she's kicking ass and growing like a weed. She's learned so much about horses in the last month and a half. So when you start growing, when you start in this world of personal development, sometimes it can be tricky because your friends that used to be your friends that still just do their thing can still be your friends, but maybe they don't belong in your inner circle anymore. Maybe you've transcended something that said, hey, our values don't quite align anymore. Does that mean you can't be friendly with them? Yeah, no, of course not. They just go into a different part of your relationship labyrinth, right? That's all there is to it. So he's over here he's not totally ignoring me, but I do want him to connect. So all I did right there was just kind of push my stick towards his right hind leg, and that brought his head up. That's how sensitive these guys are. And I want you to think about too, if you've ever been around someone that's a quote unquote highly sensitive person, I appreciate that concept. And I also believe that highly sensitive people need to learn to live in the world of 3D. That doesn't mean you tolerate, it just means that you need to get some thick skin and get some resilience, because if you don't have it and you need it, I always say it's better to need it and not have it, or better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. So have that level of resilience available to you so you can be in those situations. If you put yourself in a bubble, yeah, you can be super sensitive, but you can never get out in the real world. And trust me, it's dirty out here. So I'm gonna come here. I'm just gonna give him a little information and see if I can't get his attention. And I really want him to actually connect with me. That would be lovely. But I'm going to set my intention, do my best, and detach from the outcome. If I don't get the connection, then that's okay. I did my best, right? And the time that I had with what was available to me. And that right there is the definition of being present. Doing what you can with what you have in the moment to do your best to get your desired outcome. There he is. Come up. Right. And this one, who is the sovereign, he's like, why should I trust you to lead me? I'm the king. I'm the one. I'm responsible for all of that. And I question myself a lot about what that looks like. So, just can he accept my tools here? And just like maybe just have a soft connection. We already went for a walk this morning and did a couple of other things. He's got a lot of flies. So maybe hi, sweetie. So maybe my connection with him isn't, hey, let's go do a bunch of stuff. Maybe shoulder, you have a fly. Yeah. And maybe just something that's just quiet. And we just have a cup of tea together and spend a little undemanding time together and just kind of connect and support. And I'm getting ready to go work with a horse either later this afternoon or tomorrow. That's a lot like this. And it's going to be the most boring lesson on the planet, because I'm going to do a whole lot of nothing. Like, what do they say? Dolce far niente, yeah? The sweetness of doing nothing. And this horse, who has been raced for, there, that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for him to be okay with me being wherever I need to be with him. So I need to be able to, can I walk all the way around him? Can I touch him and like have him trust anything that I'm doing? Can I put the stick over his back? Can I I think about this string going over his back as if I had a little skinny leg, like this would be my leg. If this was me and this was my left leg, that'd be how I would swing up on his back, right? So if he can't take the stick and string, simulating what it would look like for me getting on, he can't do that. What the heck am I doing getting on top? I want to keep the big one on the bottom when I'm riding, right? That's the goal. We don't want to come off on accident. So that's kind of when you start looking at how you can build a relationship, not just with a horse, but with people. Like, how powerful would it be if you had all of this information through horses in a way that you're like, oh my God, Maverick's just like my mom, which incidentally, Maverick is a lot like my mom, right? And I'm a Bella and my dad's a Trace, and my other brother, Jeff, who's no longer with us, was a Dante. My dad can tolerate out of us 3 kids is the one that's just like him, because he doesn't know how to deal with this. He doesn't know what to do with all of this, right? And I love my dad, like, come on. But at the same time, it's like, I get it, Dad. You didn't know what to do with all of this. But my brother Jim is just like him. He's just like Trace. And they're both engineers, and they both think that, but do we really only want to ever be around people that are just like us and think just like us? No, I think that's the definition of fascism. You want to go that way, like only being around people that think like we do and speak like we do and talk like we do. I had a friend that just kind of dumped me, left my group and everything. God bless her, because I said something about comparing Donald Trump to Hitler, you know. And at first I was like, oh, I shouldn't talk about that. I don't care. It's my truth. I think it's kind of inflammatory to compare any human being to Hitler, But can we not have a lively conversation with different personality types and learn how to adapt and be respectful to one another, right? And what if you were in a physical, like an intimate, not a horse, this isn't Tijuana, but like, just be like a personality type like Maverick. What if this was your spouse or someone that you were really close with? Some of my closest friends are Mavericks, right? And it's because they kind of live vicariously, because they just like sit back and like watch the chaos, right? And like, now what not to do. I know, buddy. But at the same time, for me, being able to tap into this psyche and understand it at a deeper level, one of the most challenging things I've ever done. In fact, I had a horse when I was teaching like straight horsemanship. I was learning a form of natural horsemanship to learn how to talk to these guys. And I was on my way out to Colorado, and I had to stop in Missouri. It's a long way from Florida to Colorado. So I stopped at my sister-in-law's house in Missouri, overnighted there. And the horse had gotten out of the fence somehow in the middle of the night and sliced herself up on a bunch of barbed wire, just like flayed open, So I'm like, all right, got to drive to Sikeston, get her all stitched up and stay a couple extra days. I'm going to be late. She had to heal a little. And then we went on out to Colorado. But guess what? Yeah, I'll get it. Guess what? She couldn't do anything. She had all these injuries and she couldn't do anything. Funnily enough, that same thing happened to him when I first got him. And I was out there, I had 6 weeks, and I had to do all this stuff to hit my goals and jump through the hoops to get, going for the next level, right? For Jen. But that horse was like, no, I can't do that. It's all flayed open. So all I did was care for her. I didn't ask her to do anything. God bless you. Just go ahead and sneeze. It's okay. You can be human. She's over here trying not to sneeze. And so for the first several weeks, I did a whole lot of nothing, farniente, nothing. And we just hand grazed, and I groomed her and I cared for her. And all that time, she was like waiting for the other shoe to drop. You ever heard that phrase? Waiting for the other shoe to drop. And she's like waiting, and she was braced, like, when is she going to kick me? When is she going to pull on my mouth? When is she going to do something that I'm used to having done to me? And that the phrase, waiting for the other shoe to drop, if you don't know, look it up. It's kind of interesting. In history, in the old tenements, all the floor models were the same, bathroom, kitchen, living room, all the same. So all the bedrooms were on top of one another. And in the industrial age, everybody worked shifts. So everybody's home at the same time. Everybody goes to bed at the same time. I know. Amanda's rolling her eyes. Me too. But at night, you would hear the people above you walking around. And then they'd sit on the edge of the bed before bedtime, take off one shoe, it'd hit the floor. And then, unless they got a peg leg or something, good boy, their other shoe would come off and hit the floor. When that second shoe would hit, you knew they were going to bed and you could relax. Like, that's where where it comes from. But the meaning is you're waiting for the inevitable, right? So I'm going to pretend like I do have the peg leg, and the other shoe is never going to drop with this horse, because I've made a promise to him that his needs are my needs, right? His needs are my needs. And Tony Robbins teaches this in a lot of his stuff too, where it's like, can you imagine being in a relationship with someone who said, your needs are my needs, and what is important to you is important to me because it's you. Right. So that's incredible. And these guys, all 5 of these guys, that's my commitment to them. Right. And these are my 2 a.m. inner circle. They're not going anywhere. I would ride or die, bitch. Every single one of these guys are here for life. Right. Most animal owners should have that mentality. But at the same time, who in your personal life or your professional life do you have that's like that? And how are they showing up? Now, that doesn't mean and again, I just got a letter from a friend we've been friends for 10 years, and she did something I didn't like. I called her out on it, and then she brought out all the shit that had been piling up in her world about me for the last 10 years and wrote me a nice, fine little letter about it. Okay. And I'm like, how interesting that's what ended up showing up. No big deal. I just get curious about it. And when people do things you don't like, instead of going, what a bitch, you know what? She's doing her thing. It's just a different life. I just now go, she just is a different place in my relationship labyrinth than she was before I received the letter. No big deal. I don't have to like kick her to the moon. I just go, she's not here anymore. She could be over here. And if you want to know more about my relationship labyrinth, reach out to me, because it's really, it's foundational. We weren't even going to put it in my mastermind course because it's so deep, but it is absolutely had to get at least an idea about what it looks like, who should be in what part of your world, who has access. And Amanda and I were talking about it. Who has access to your energy? Who do you allow to have access to your energy? Now, you can't control what anybody else does on social media or anything else in the world, but what you can control is the conduits that have access to your energy, either in or out. That's totally up to you, right? And I look at him and look at how he just waited. He was like, I'm going to wait for her. How long have I had you? How long have you been in my life? 7 years, 8 years? Got you. When did I get you? 2017. Come up on 7 years. So I've had him for 7 years, and still he makes me show up. He holds me accountable every single day. That's what I love about horses, is that every single day for the rest of their lives, they are going to hold me accountable to be the best me I can be for them. If they're going to be in my 2 a.m. inner circle, I need to be in theirs too. So whose circle are you in that you should be in? Whose circle shouldn't you be in? And how would you like to have some differentiation and some discernment around what that even looks like? Right, Mav? Hi, buddy. He says, we didn't take your fly mask off. You want to take your fly mask off? I'm just going to put it right back on. He says, no. So Maverick was a former racehorse. He was born in France, raced almost 11 years. And that's criminal. Like, the racing industry is bad enough. Let's race the Tom. He's Tom Brady. You know, he's a kind of a goat. I'll get it. You know, to race that long and have so many 41 starts and won more money than Seabiscuit. So to put those things all in place and go, now what should he do? Should he go run triathlons? How about let's just give him a good life? How about let's at least give us a good life, or someone, whoever owned him before, let's give him a good life. Let's make sure they're not ending up on the floor of a slaughterhouse or in the kill pens or at an auction terrified. Let's make sure we give these guys the dignity that we deserve, because at Xenogen, I believe we believe that everyone deserves to have a life-changing experience with a horse that maintains the dignity of the animal. And what you experience here through my digital programs or on site or at one of my satellite locations is going to be exactly that, because under no circumstances does anyone lose their dignity or have the opportunity to be made to feel uncomfortable in a way that they don't need to grow. Now, I believe that you need to feel uncomfortable to grow, but I don't think it needs to be something that causes you to question whether or not you should trust the process. Because when you start working with these guys, the next thing that happens with them is they grow and they learn and they take the next natural step that's in alignment with their vibration and their energy. And when that happens, they give things back to you that will grow your heart, make you cry, crawl into your soul. So I think we met. Did we meet everybody? We met everybody you saw Tuesday with their little booty scratching, and everybody here is just going to have the most serene time at Xenogen. So if you're interested in more, we have some great masterminds coming up. Free Coaching Friday every Friday around the 1 o'clock hour, usually with Daniela, my bestie, up at Artemis Hill in New York, and masterminds coming up, self-discovery challenges, and some opportunities to engage with the horses in person. So reach out if you're interested. I hope you all had a great time and learned something beautiful about horses and yourself on Free Coaching Friday. I'm Jen. This is Maverick. Yes, Maverick Bow. And I believe in yourself. Thank you, Amanda, for very patiently filming. I know it's getting hot. And we'll see you next Friday on Free Coaching Friday.